Susie Gary. If we haven't met yet, I'm just a baby girl with a little extra. Thank you so much for being here. If you are catching us live, please let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And if you are watching the replay, just make sure that you let us know in the comment as well with the hashtag replay. And so I can give you some virtual popcorn once that you do that. Today we're in for a treat because I have a friend coming over and talk to us about what fun things can we do with our children this summer. If you are like me, I might be a little bit blocked on like what do we do? We want to get, I don't have all the resources, I don't have the time because I work now. So I want to take advantage of summer and do something with children, and not just my children, but children in my community. So I invited an expert to talk to us today about how to do a fun backyard VBS. And for those that are not familiar with the word VBS, it's Vacation Bible School. So how can we integrate fun with the Word of God? And after this friend invited me to think about that, it's like, oh, wait a minute, we can do it in our backyard? Let's talk about this. So without any further ado, here's a little bit about my guest today. Angie Hooie. She has been married for over 25 years. She has been volunteering in children's ministry for over 20 years. And was called into vocational ministry 11 years ago. I'm so proud of her because she just won a certification. She oversees 3 campuses by empowering her leaders and her team at Two Rivers Church in Knoxville, Tennessee. So without any further ado, sweet friend. Hi, Angie. Good evening. Thank you so much for agreeing to be here in this very casual talk. I am so honored that you agreed to do this in such a short notice. And I think that time is also like gripping on us because it's almost like we're already in the middle of summer. Like kids are out of school and parents and aunts and grandparents are like, what do we do with our children? So I think you do something super, super cool at your church. And I want to invite you to talk to us about it. But so I'm going to give you the stage and tell us a little bit first about more in depth of what you do and who you are.
Well, so we actually don't call it Vacation Bible School. We call it the very best summer because we want it to be the very best summer. And we want it to be the very best summer for our kids in our church, our families in our church, and then just the community in general. So our backyard VBS actually started when everything else kind of started and really pivoted, that word, during COVID. So we used to run a traditional, what we would call family camp instead of VBS because we, at Two Rivers, our desire is to come alongside parents, for parents to be the primary disciple maker of their kids. And ways that we can do that is providing events and resources for parents and kids to do together, for grandparents and kids to do together. But then the whole world shut down. And so we thought, how can we still do this? How can we still do it super intentionally? So we just would pack up boxes for these parents and grandparents to do their VBS at home with their kids. And they loved it and they engaged with it and they sent us in pictures and it was so much fun. So we decided, let's do this. Let's capitalize on it and let's take the gospel to the communities, because it's so much easier to invite somebody to your backyard, to invite somebody to your church, especially in a world of church hurt. So let's give them this and let them do it.
That is so neat that out of sorrow time, something so beautiful was born, right? So you and our friends in our friend group, we always talk about the beauty from ashes that
Mhm.
Jesus Christ always brings. And I see that happening here. And I think it's such a neat concept for not just the churches to adopt, but for the families, like you said, empowering uh, parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts and just anybody in a neighborhood to say like, hey, wait a minute, I have a backyard, a big backyard. What can I do to get to know my neighbors and just help them out, and it's not like you have them all day and you have to spend a lot of money, right? So can you talk to us a little bit about who can do the BBS backyard, and where do we start? What will we do if there is not a church like yours yet in our area that is not familiarized with this concept? How can we start that?
There's a phrase, where there's a will, there's a way.
Mm,
So, and if you build it, they will come. And we are so seeing that. And so, one thing that I think that you can really do is just say, gather a couple of your neighbors and say, let's do this. And you can host it in your front yard, you can host it in your side yard, you can host it in your backyard. And there are so many different types of curriculums out there to do this. You can use the traditional VBS curriculums like Orange, Group, Power Up Club, Lifeway Kids, Hillsong Kids. Yancey even has one.
mm,
You can go to children's ministry deals and
mhm,
find them for super cheap, and pull all of those things together. And there's in the curriculum, there's Bible stories, there's video based, there's ones that you can teach large scale, crafts, games. It's just incredible time to have fun. And the games is what draws those kids. So if you do like an hour worth of games and 10
mhm,
minutes of Bible, you're having fun with those kids. So then
mm,
they're going to trust you in order to hear what you have to say.
mhm. So how long, or how does this look like in somebody's front yard? Like how, depending, I know the curriculum, right? Let's say that I just go and get my curriculum from Orange, but for people like me that are familiarized with what a curriculum looks like, it'll be easier. But for people that are not like in the ministry environment, how can they structure, do you make it 2 hours? Do you make it a whole afternoon? Is it 3 days? Is it 2 days? Like how would you
I
do
love
that?
that question. You can make it exactly what you want to make it. So you
Mm,
can do 5 days in a row. You can only do three. If you're like, hey, I'm just starting this and I have no idea what I'm doing and my britches are too big,
yeah.
great. Just do 3 days. I
Mhm.
have seen some um, churches or communities that they do it um, every Wednesday through the summer. So
Oh.
they have like a standing day throughout the whole summer. So the kids have something to do every Wednesday during the summer. You can do it in the morning, you can do it for an hour and a half, you can do it in the evenings. It's whatever really fits. That's the beauty. It's what fits
Mm,
your schedule and your community. You guys
yeah.
know your community, you know the needs of your community. So, how can you make it fit your neighborhood, your structure?
That
I've
is
seen,
so good.
yeah, I've even seen some people doing it at the park and they open it up to the
Wow.
whole subdivision. People have rented clubhouses and done it in their neighborhood so that they can accommodate a bigger group than what can fit in their backyard.
That is such a boom. I just got like a light bulb right there. I didn't think about, yeah, doing like our neighborhood has a clubhouse. I'm like, Oh, wait a
Mm-hmm.
minute, because I'm pretty sure there are moms out here that will be like, okay, let's team up and do that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So that kind of leads to my next question, because you know me, I get all excited about all good things and new things, and I want to do it all. But how can we recruit, invite, sell the idea to other adults, and to get volunteers to do this? Like how to start the ripple effect of that?
So when we really leaned into this, we teamed up with our student ministry and our
Mm.
church, and it was a beautiful melding. Sorry, neighborhood dog. Because I'm sitting in my backyard. Because
Yeah,
why would
I
that
know.
not be?
Yes.
um,
That's wonderful.
so we teamed up with our student ministry and wanted to blend those two ministries and kind of break down some of
Mm.
those silos, but also empower these students to step into getting some leadership skills.
Wow. Mm.
And so they are actually leading the Bible stories. They are leading the games. They're, leading the small groups, and it's beautiful. And then we also have um, our retired ministry is called our Encore ministry. So
Mhm.
then we have
Oh,
some older
beautiful.
people that are also coming. So it's this incredible intergenerational ministry that is happening, and the relationships that are built. They were going
Mhm.
to church together after VBS. They're going to lunches continuing, and some of them, they're all in it and they're doing it again this year. But in order to even start that recruiting process, I
Mhm.
believe it's just praying, Jesus, who are you going to bring?
Yeah.
Who do you want to bring to step into what you are doing and literally be the hands and feet to go and take this good news to the communities? So whether it's reaching out to maybe some of your high schoolers in your
Mhm.
community, those that are looking for service project opportunities, they're wanting to start building their resumes in order for college applications. You've got some people that are needing service hours. So you have people around that definitely want to do that. Maybe even talking to some of your preschools that are around, and they might have some leaders that are looking for some additional ways to continue to hone their leadership skills as well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that concept as well, because you're not just going to minister to the children that will come to your your events, but it's also ministering to the youth and to the older generations, like, oh my gosh, this is a win-win situation from every angle you look at it.
Mm.
So, okay, so we talk about, letting people know, inviting kids basically. And I'm going to throw this out there because I just thought about it. We have, or in our neighborhood, a Facebook group, and we have a next door neighbor app and all that kind of stuff where we're announced lose dogs in the neighborhood, or like, oh, watch out, there's a um any kind of thing. So the other
Yes.
day, a neighbor posted a pig. A pig was loose in our neighborhood.
Yes,
So,
that's
oh,
incredible.
yeah. So we can use this kind of tools, right, to also promote it and invite and recruit. I think, and also like the great point. And I was just, as you were describing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, like a bunch of my daughter's friends need service hours.
Hmm.
Just take those kids and empower them as well with the leadership, skills and all that kind of stuff. So it's great all the way around. Now, my next question is also where I think that people might be like, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't, I don't have children, so I don't have toys anymore. Like, where and how can we gather supplies? How, or can we ask for donations, or what are some ideas that you can give us to what is needed to do this in a physical form?
So that is a fantastic question because we used a different curriculum last year than we did this year. And
Mm.
so some of that is actually dependent on the curriculum that you use.
Okay.
However, most curriculums, um, supplies can be very minimal.
Mm.
And most of them you can pick up at Dollar Tree. Well, it's now $1.25, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So,
Right.
Amazon, Walmart. I mean, you're talking about popsicle sticks, beads, string, because you're this particular year it's called Ready Set Move, and a lot of our crafts are you're making some necklaces, you're painting some rocks, and then you're going and hiding those rocks in the park for other people to find, and we're making some other different really fun crafts, but it's not really supply heavy because we
Okay.
want to make it super accessible and super doable. And you want to make it doable for a family to do, a small church to do, a large church to do. And what's really cool is with most curriculums, they are going to give you like 5 different crafts to pick from. You don't have to do them
Oh,
all. So you
right.
can do one that's really heavy or really light. And they're also super age specific. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a little people track, and then there's a big people track.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotcha.
if I can go back to,
Mm-hmm.
you started to talk advertising,
Yeah.
and letting people know that you're doing it. The thing that we have found that's been really helpful is we just made yard signs.
Hmm.
And so each of our host homes that are doing it have a couple of yard signs in their subdivision. And taking a page from Anna's technology,
Mm-hmm.
we did a little QR code that's on the yard sign. So somebody can just snap a picture of that and
Great
register for it.
idea.
And then we have door hangers that we're putting around the neighborhood because you don't put something in people's mailboxes. So you
Mm-hmm.
just hang it on their doors and let people know what's going on.
That is a great idea as well. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And a lot of, I see in my neighborhood, there's a lot of signs of garage sales. So just as we will place one of those, it's inviting people in our neighborhood. That's a great
Mm-hmm.
idea. Um, so I'm looking at my notes because I had some other questions, but so we talk about supplies, we talk about the volunteers. Let's talk a little bit about, you know, if you have a husband like mine, that it's all about safety and security. He'll be like, well, we don't have a fence. We don't know that. What is the liability? And our insurance covers this and that. Like, what are some things to take into consideration as far as safety and security when you do that? Like how, because also we don't know what God is going to do, right? But shall we cap the limit of children that we can take in, or how do we gauge that?
Yeah. um, so logistically, if you are doing this if you're just wanting to do this in your neighborhood, what I would highly recommend is you keep everything outside. You keep everything in the front yard as much as possible so it is visible for everybody. If logistically, if a little 3-year-old needs to use your restroom, you make sure that their parent is the one that's taking them inside to go and use the restroom. One thing that we do is we set cones around the perimeter,
Mm,
um, to kind of make that look like a barrier for the kids to stay in this barrier in this front yard.
area.
Um,
Hmm.
but we are when somebody registers to come to ours, we are saying in the registration, in the follow-up registration, this is for parent and child to come together, grandparent and child to come
Mm,
together. So those are extra adults. Those are extra eyes that are on all of these kids.
hmm.
Um, so that also helps with the liability because a parent or a grandparent is supposed to be there at all times. The extra
Hmm.
bonus to that is that's allowing more friendships and community to happen as well.
Yeah.
But from the
Oh,
safety and standpoint of that, through our because we are running this through our church with any adult helper, we are
mm-hmm.
running background checks on
Mm-hmm.
everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then for any teenagers, we are having a parent permission for that teenager to come and serve so that the parent
Gotcha.
understands what is involved in this. And we're doing lots of training on,
Mm-hmm.
first aid, things to kind of be aware of, ways to keep the children safe and to keep the adults safe. We do have a Safe Kids video training that we send out um,
Oh, that's a
for our
great idea.
volunteers as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, a basic person like me, let's say that I'm not involved or I don't have a church, involved into doing um, this type of thing with me as a regular person. The things that I will make sure I have, just based on what you mentioned, it's have number one, the parent or grandparent and adult responsible
Responsible adult. Yes.
adult with a child, a first aid kit, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, because if they're running, they scrape their knees or something like that, right?
Yes.
And for the teenagers volunteers, maybe craft a little something. And I'm pretty sure we can go to Google and get a permit, like print out something.
Anything anybody needs, we make sure you give them my contact information. I am happy to share what we have, do more question and answers with everybody. And yep.
Sounds great. Thank you. So now, if you're watching this, we have a church just backing us up. Thank you, Angie.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'll make sure to link your contact information on the show notes, and please do contact Angie if you have any questions or you need help and direction. She's really, really good at helping. So my last question, it's like, what are some three basic things that we haven't talked about that you would say, okay, these are the three things that I will suggest you consider before getting into crafting your backyard BBS?
Hmm.
Because we talk about safety and security, the supplies, the volunteers,
Prayer.
prayer. Yeah. Lots of
Prayer.
prayer. Okay. What
Um,
about the training? Okay, because let's say that also I I know how to train people, but any regular parent or grandparent has not done ministry in a church setting. What are some things that you say? Okay, just make sure your people know these things.
the number one is flexibility and fun.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
You have to just kind of go into this with a flexibility and fun and relax. Like, just know that because you are just even doing this, because you are opening it up, you are going to be blessed and these kids are going to be blessed. And
Mm-hmm.
be prepared for stuff to go sideways and just roll with it and know that Jesus's name is going to be glorified even by you just opening up your front yard to let these kids come and have a safe place to feel known, seen, loved, and cared for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing is going to go perfect. You're going to be exhausted, but it's all worth it. It's
Mm-hmm.
all worth it because it's it's all about making Jesus famous. And it's
Yeah.
all about these kids knowing that there's somebody else that's in their corner and that they
Mm-hmm.
have a safe place to go. Um, and I also think just to know that you're doing this for the community. People are needing those connections now more than ever, especially on the back end of the whole world being shut down, and they feel lonely. So you're
Mm-hmm.
giving them a place to feel like they belong.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. And again, I guess that we might forget that, we have children at home, and breaking the structure of going to school every day. And I think being connected, like, I love the idea that you said, because in my mind I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, I have to maybe even ask a few days off from work to dedicate this, like doing a 3-day boom thing. But like you said, doing it like maybe one day during the summer, that just opened up a huge thing
Mm-hmm.
for me, because I'm like, wait a minute, I can do that. And I was already kind of stressing out about, like, I really want to do this, but then what am I going to say no to? And you have
Yeah.
the priorities and all that kind of stuff. So,
Well,
um,
and ours are all run in the evening. Ours are run from 6
mhm,
to 7:30. So you're not having to take time off. You just come home and
you know,
set up your supplies in your front yard. And I mean, and some of the, back to those supplies, some of those game supplies are hula hoops and jump ropes
mhm,
and bubbles. I mean,
yeah,
what kids doesn't, it's just like, oh,
yeah,
we're outside and we're getting to jump rope and blow bubbles. Yes.
right,
And learn
right.
about Jesus. Yes.
Yes. And so that brought me just a question. What ages shall we
Yes.
have in our program?
So ours this year is designed 3 years old through fifth grade.
Okay.
Yeah. And because we the curriculum, going back to the curriculum that we're using this year, has a track for pre-K and a track for elementary, it's super easy to kind of divide them up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can, again, back to the curriculum piece, you can structure it all for elementary, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
whatever your community needs.
Yeah.
There's going to be something out there that can hit your specific needs of your community, and I'm super happy to help you dive deeper into what might fit for that.
Thank you. Yes. So, friends, please, if you have any questions that we didn't talk about, and now, time flies when you're having fun. Um, so, we're having our own BBS right here, right now. But if you have any questions, any comments, just leave them in the chat. If we didn't get to them, I'll make sure that pass them on to Angie and get back to you. But I hope that this conversation has been empowering to you and motivating, and seeing like, okay, yes, this is something that we can do. Just gather your family, and like Angie said, in the evening. I'm in Texas, so it summers are like 100 degrees and above, so that's even another advantage, doing it during that time in the evening. You're not in the middle of the heat and all that kind of stuff. And especially me, like, I cannot do heat um, at all. But that even, you know, gives me the idea. Let's have popsicles afterwards, or something refreshing, lemonade, something like
Mm,
that, that we can integrate into our fun time. So, Angie, thank you so much again. Thank you so much, friends. I'm also going to put the in the chat the link for your church. Do you all do virtual um, on Sundays for your
we
church?
do we do for big church.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
kids ministry is no longer streamed, but big church
Gotcha.
is, yes.
Yeah. Okay. But it's still, if you're looking for a church in this area, you need to check out Two Rivers Church. And I will put the links in the show notes. And again, thank you so much. I have something for you because you were so awesome. You are awesome.
Yay!
And before we leave, I also have a little fun thing for us to do that I've been implementing in the last couple of streams with my guests, to get to know my guest a little bit more. So I have the wheel of questions. Are you
I'm
up to
suddenly
for some?
nervous.
Yeah, because I didn't pick the questions, so Will picks the questions. So we'll see. It's supposed to be fun questions. So, friends, if you are also want to play with us, answer the questions in the comments. It's always fun to answer these questions. So I'm gonna add this to the stream, and the Will is gonna pick. So we're gonna do 5 rapid fire questions. You ready?
Whew, okay.
It the answer of 3,024 and divided by 6. I'm just
No,
kidding.
no math. No
No
math. I
math
haven't finished my
questions. I
coffee
don't
yet. Yeah.
yeah, I don't like math. Okay, here comes. What object do you misplace or lose the most?
Oh, my car keys.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I used to, but my husband got super tired of that. And he put a hook by the door and he's like, this is where the keys are. You just walk in
Sure.
here and put it there.
Yeah. If I actually remember to take them out of my car, if I
Right.
didn't put them in the wrong pocket of my purse. Oh,
Exactly.
Star Wars.
All the way?
100%. My
Oh,
husband
goodness.
3D printed an actual R2D2 that is in his office.
Wow. Well, did you know this? This is a little fun fact that I know. So in Mexico, obviously, we know Star Wars, but R2, what did you say?
D2. R2D2.
D2. Yes. It's Archer, in Spanish. So every Mexican that you ask him for the name of that thing is Arturito because it sounds like that. So it's
That's so
Arturito. We know him as
I love
Arturito.
it. I love it.
You see, I taught you something today.
Yes.
After
You
all the
always
things that I
teach me
learned
something.
today.
You always
Yeah.
teach me something, Anna.
Oh no. Thank you. Would you rather sleep in late or take a long nap midday?
Yes.
The nap?
Both. Yes and yes.
Yes. Give me a pillow and
Yes
I'll
and
do
yes.
it. I know. All right, here comes the 4th one. Let's see. What is your favorite word?
Chocolate.
Oh, that's a really good word. This last time we went to Florida, we went to the chocolate museum and I found a t-shirt that says
What?
professional chocolate tester.
Wait, there's a chocolate museum in Florida?
Yes,
Where?
in Orlando. That day you didn't come with us because you were at Disney, I think.
No.
Yes, you missed it. We even had chocolate wine. Oops.
Shut up.
What is your last Google search?
Oh, easy. So we're going to dinner with some friends tonight. So I looked up the restaurant in order to look at the menu to know what I'm having.
Oh,
Because I'm
nice.
such a planner, I have to know in advance
That's
what they have.
smart.
Yeah.
I lost my mouse. Let me get it over here. That was so much fun. That's great. Well, I don't ask me. Oh, I know what I Google as the meaning of a word in English that I've never heard before. And I was like,
R2D2.
oh, I knew that. Yeah. But yeah, it's so much fun. But you do next January, you have to look it up. It's really close to the convention center, and
Okay.
it's a very small museum, but they take you on a little tour, and then at the end, like the history of chocolate, which is really interesting, and then
Mm.
at the end, they give you like 12 samples of all the chocolates that they have there. And in fact,
Oh.
I'm still have some because I've been just like tearing little parts because I don't want that to be over.
See, you've got incredible self-control. I would have eaten it all the next day and then been sick.
No, yeah. Well, I was just like, okay, not it's a what is it called? Grat- Immediate gratification, or
Oh,
do
yes,
I
yes,
want this,
to
to
savor it.
last? But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm fixing to look it up to see if they can ship it because it's so good. And my favorite one was the white chocolate with cayenne pepper and orange. And you would think like that
Whoa.
sounds
Yeah.
it's delicious. Delicious.
Huh.
And they also have all kinds, I mean, they have all kinds of chocolate. So it was hard to make a decision. But they also have a little
Wow.
I need to ask for some, you know, uh publicity money
You
here.
do. Sponsored by the Museum of Chocolate.
Yes, but it's so good. They have tables and you can have either hot chocolate or wine or, any of the
Mm,
truffles that they have there and they're making
yeah.
them that there. You can see how they make this stuff and it's wonderful. So yeah,
Okay.
so,
I love
well,
it.
thank you. Thank you so much, Angie, for your time, for
Thank
all
you.
this information that you share with us. It was amazing. And I know it's going um, to be a blessing for someone. And friends, if you are planning and you're taking this idea on and doing it in your yard, please let us know. Let us know how it
Mhm.
went and how many more years are you going to do it after this one, because I'm sure you will. And just let us know. And again, to contact Angie, just leave your click on the links in the comments and you'll get a hold of her. Thank you so much, Angie. You have a wonderful rest of the week. I can't thank you enough for being here
Thank
today.
you. Thank you. This has been so fun.
Thank
Appreciate you
you.
asking me.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, friends. And don't forget to love Jesus, obey Jesus, and tell everyone about him. Bye.
Bye.